The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts. Marcus Aurelius. Introduction. Attraction, in its most primal form, is both a force and a test. It is a compelling magnetism that lures us toward something or someone, creating a pull within our minds and emotions that can easily veer out of our control. In today's world, the study of attraction, when combined with psychological manipulation, often falls into what is referred to as dark psychology. While this phrase may evoke images of deception and control, in truth, it speaks to an understanding of human nature that transcends manipulation. What we seek to explore today is not how to wield this power over others, but rather how to master it within ourselves. We must ask ourselves, are we drawn by fleeting desires, or are we the masters of our own impulses? To truly gain mastery over attraction, we must look inward, controlling the inner currents of desire rather than being controlled by them. This is the path of the Stoic, the philosopher who knows that true strength lies in self-restraint, in the ability to govern one's mind amidst temptation. As Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." This journey we embark on is one of reclaiming that power. We are not here to manipulate others, but to fortify ourselves. We are not here to dominate those around us, but to learn to dominate the forces within us that seek to dominate us. This is how we, as Stoics, control attraction using the ancient principles of Stoic philosophy. Stay with us through this journey, and by the end, you will understand how to wield the tools of attraction and psychology without losing yourself. You will walk the path that the Stoics laid before us, not as those seeking control over others, but as masters of our own desires and impulses. 1. The lure of desire. Recognizing the illusion. Attraction, at its core, is a mirage. Like the shimmering waves of heat on a distant road, it seems tangible, close, and inviting. But as Stoics, we know that desire is not to be trusted blindly. We live in a world driven by impulses, our eyes drawn to the glitter, our hearts pulled toward fleeting emotions. But Marcus Aurelius reminds us the soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts. The soul, then, must remain clear, unsullied by the hue of illusions. When we encounter those who are captivating, whether by beauty, charisma, or charm, we must recognize that what we are truly seeing is our own reflection. Our minds project onto others the qualities we desire. That attractiveness is not purely external, it lives within us. When we find ourselves irresistibly drawn to someone, it is often less about who they are and more about the fantasies and desires we have attached to them. This is where the wisdom of Epictetus comes into play. He often spoke of the need for clear perception, seeing things for what they truly are, not what we wish them to be. The Stoic practice of prososche, attention or mindfulness, is essential in these moments. Pay close attention to the origins of your attraction. Ask yourself, what is it in me that seeks this? Is this desire rooted in virtue or vanity? To truly recognize the illusion of attraction, we must detach ourselves from it. The initial rush of desire often clouds our ability to think rationally. By taking a step back and examining the situation objectively, we allow our reason to regain control. When the illusion fades, what remains is either a deeper connection based on shared values or a fleeting infatuation that is best left behind. In this way, recognizing the illusion is the first step toward controlling it. The Stoic knows that mastery over attraction begins with understanding that it is often nothing more than a projection of our inner desires. 2. Detachment from the object of desire. The path to freedom, Epictetus famously taught that it is not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. This timeless lesson applies not only to life's hardships, but also to the magnetic pull of attraction. The object of your desire holds no power over you unless you grant it. When we fixate on someone or something, we often relinquish our freedom, binding ourselves to an outcome we cannot control. The Stoic practice of apatheia, freedom from passions, is crucial here. To remain free from the turbulent emotions that attraction can stir, we must practice detachment. Detachment does not mean indifference, nor does it mean closing oneself off to the possibility of connection. Rather, it means maintaining a healthy distance from our desires so that we do not become enslaved by them. Imagine this. You encounter someone who embodies everything you find attractive. Your mind fixates on them, and soon you find yourself enslaved by your desire for their attention or approval. As Stoics, we must recognize that we cannot control the actions or affections of others. We only have control over how we respond. To detach is to take back your power. By stepping away from the need for a specific outcome, you allow yourself to remain centered and free. The practice of detachment aligns closely with the Stoic principle of amor fati, the love of fate. By embracing whatever outcomes arise, whether positive or negative, you release yourself from the burden of expectation. This frees you to engage with others authentically, without the constant fear of loss or rejection. In essence, detachment from desire leads to true freedom. It allows you to interact with the world and with the people who attract you without losing your sense of self. 3. The power of self-mastery. Controlling impulses. Attraction often ignites a fire within us, a fire that can either be a beacon of strength or a consuming flame. If left unchecked, our impulses can lead us down a path of irrational behavior. Yet the Stoic strength lies in self-mastery. We must learn to temper these flames. Seneca wrote, "No man is free who is not master of himself." Attraction is not inherently negative, but it becomes dangerous when it overrides our reason. Self-mastery, therefore, is the cornerstone of Stoic thought. To control attraction, you must first learn to control your impulses. Just as a ship's captain must navigate through a storm with steady hands, so too must we navigate the storm of emotions that attraction stirs within us. Self-mastery in the realm of attraction involves several key practices. Mindfulness, being aware of your emotional state and the triggers that spark attraction. Reflection, taking time to think before acting, considering whether your response aligns with your values. Discipline, resisting the urge to act on every impulse and instead choosing actions that reflect reasoned judgment. A powerful exercise in self-mastery is what the Stoics referred to as premeditatio malorum, the premeditation of evils. By contemplating potential challenges or obstacles in advance, you prepare yourself mentally for the emotional storm that may arise. In the context of attraction, this could mean reflecting on potential scenarios where desire may pull you off course. By envisioning these situations ahead of time, you strengthen your ability to respond with clarity and control. Through self-mastery, you can transform the fire of attraction into a steady, guiding flame rather than a consuming inferno. 4. The pitfalls of manipulation. Stoic integrity, above all. Dark psychology often refers to the manipulation of others' emotions to serve our own purposes. But to manipulate others is to stray from the Stoic path. As Epictetus teaches, know first who you are and then adorn yourself accordingly. Manipulation, by nature, is a form of deception, and deception is a betrayal of the self. To manipulate is to enslave oneself to outcomes beyond one's control, and in doing so, we forsake our integrity. Stoicism places immense value on living in accordance with virtue, which includes honesty, authenticity, and justice. When we manipulate others, whether through deception, emotional games, or false promises, we not only harm them, but also harm ourselves. Manipulation is a short-term strategy that ultimately leads to long-term regret. Imagine a situation where you seek to win someone over through clever words or emotional games. You may succeed in the short term, but in the end, you have lost something far more valuable: your own sense of virtue and honor. A Stoic does not need to manipulate because a Stoic knows that true strength lies in authenticity. Marcus Aurelius reminds us, "The best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injury." When others seek to manipulate or deceive, the Stoic remains steadfast in their integrity. By living with honesty and authenticity. We attract those who value the same virtues, and we repel those who would seek to manipulate us. 5. Guarding against flattery, the seduction of approval. One of the most insidious aspects of attraction is the desire for approval. We long to be liked, to be admired, and in doing so, we often lose sight of our own values. The Stoics warned against this. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "It never ceases to amaze me. We all love ourselves more than other people, but care more about their opinion than our own." Flattery is a dangerous tool of manipulation, and it often masquerades as sincere admiration. When others flatter us, we are tempted to believe their words, to bask in the glow of their approval. But the Stoic must be ever vigilant, for flattery is a trap designed to inflate our ego and cloud our judgment. How, then, can we guard against the seductive pull of flattery? The answer lies in humility. The Stoic knows that true self-worth is not determined by the opinions of others. Whether others praise or criticize, the Stoic remains grounded in their own sense of virtue. In moments when we are tempted to be swayed by flattery, we must remind ourselves of our true purpose. Are we living in accordance with our values, or are we seeking the approval of others? By maintaining our focus on virtue rather than validation, we protect ourselves from the manipulative power of flattery. 6. The role of reason, the Stoic's greatest weapon. Attraction can be an emotional whirlwind, sweeping us up and carrying us away from rational thought. But the Stoic's greatest weapon against the chaos of emotions is reason. Reason allows us to see clearly, to cut through the fog of desire and impulse. Seneca taught, "He who is brave is free," and bravery, in this sense, is the courage to think rationally, even when emotions threaten to overwhelm us. When we feel the pull of attraction, it is reason that enables us to step back, to ask ourselves whether this desire aligns with our values, and to decide whether it serves our highest purpose. Reason does not deny emotion. It recognizes it and then chooses the best course of action. In this way, we can experience attraction without being controlled by it. Reason allows us to navigate the complexities of human relationships with clarity and wisdom. The next time you find yourself drawn to someone, take a moment to reflect. What is it about this person that attracts you? Is it their physical appearance, their charm, or something deeper? And most importantly, does your attraction align with your values? By engaging in this practice of self-reflection, you harness the power of reason to guide your actions. 7. Embracing impermanence, the nature of relationships. Finally, the Stoic understands that all things are temporary, including relationships. Attraction may be strong today, but it may fade tomorrow. The Stoic does not cling to what is temporary, but instead embraces the impermanence of all things. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Everything we hear is an opinion, not a fact. Everything we see is a perspective, not the truth." The same is true of attraction. What we perceive as irresistible today may change as our perspective evolves. The Stoic embraces this truth, knowing that relationships, like all things in life, are subject to change. By embracing impermanence, we free ourselves from the fear of loss. We can enjoy the beauty of attraction and connection without becoming attached to it. This allows us to love more fully, to engage with others more authentically, because we are not clinging to the illusion of permanence. The Stoic path is one of wisdom, self-mastery, and freedom. By controlling our attraction, we reclaim our power and live in accordance with our highest values. 8. Anchoring your attraction to virtue. In Stoicism, the ultimate goal is to live in accordance with virtue, acting with wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance. This idea must guide all aspects of our lives, including how we navigate attraction. The danger of attraction is that it can often lead us away from virtuous living, tempting us with shallow pleasures and fleeting emotions. To prevent this, we must anchor our attraction to virtue. When you feel drawn to someone, ask yourself, what is it about this person that aligns with my values? Are you attracted to their intelligence, their kindness, their commitment to justice? Or is it a more superficial quality, like physical appearance or social status? Seneca taught, true happiness is is to enjoy the present without anxious dependence upon the future. This wisdom can help guide us as we explore attraction in a way that aligns with our higher selves. We can appreciate beauty and enjoy connection, but only when it does not distract us from living virtuously. When your attraction is grounded in virtue, it becomes a source of strength rather than weakness. A relationship built on shared values can uplift both individuals, fostering growth and wisdom. It becomes a partnership where both parties encourage each other to live according to higher principles. By anchoring attraction to virtue, you transform it from a fleeting desire into something lasting and meaningful. 9. Handling rejection with Stoic resilience. No discussion of attraction would be complete without addressing the possibility of rejection. In many cases, our desires may not be reciprocated, and this can feel like a blow to our ego. But for the Stoic, rejection is not a source of suffering. It is simply another event, neutral in itself, that offers an opportunity for growth. Epictetus famously said, "We suffer not from the events in our lives, but from our judgment about them." Rejection is a perfect example of this. When someone does not return our interest, we often interpret this as a reflection of our worth. But in reality, it is merely an outcome outside of our control. We cannot control how others feel about us, nor should we try. What we can control is how we respond to rejection. We can choose to see it as a failure, or we can choose to see it as an opportunity to strengthen our resilience. The Stoic path teaches us to embrace adversity and to use every challenge as a means of self-improvement. When faced with rejection, take a step back and remind yourself of the Stoic principles of control and acceptance. You cannot control another person's feelings, but you can control how you interpret the situation. Rather than seeing it as a personal failure, see it as a chance to practice detachment, humility, and patience. By handling rejection with Stoic resilience, you free yourself from the emotional turbulence that often follows disappointment. You learn to value yourself. 10. Cultivating inner beauty, the Stoic's true source of attraction. While much of the world focuses on external beauty, the Stoic knows that true attraction comes from within. As Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts." Our character, more than our appearance, is what truly defines our attractiveness. In a world obsessed with surface-level beauty, the Stoic's task is to cultivate inner beauty, qualities like wisdom, kindness, and integrity. These traits are what make us truly magnetic to others. Physical beauty fades, but a virtuous soul continues to shine, attracting those who value depth and substance. To cultivate inner beauty, focus on developing the 4 cardinal virtues of Stoicism. Wisdom, the ability to see the world clearly and make sound decisions. Courage, the strength to face challenges without fear or hesitation. Justice, the commitment to treat others fairly and with respect. Temperance, the discipline to control your desires and live with moderation. By embodying these virtues, you not only become a better person, but also naturally draw others to you. People are attracted to authenticity, kindness, and strength of character. When you live according to Stoic principles, you become someone who inspires and uplifts others. In this way, the Stoic approach to attraction is not about manipulating or controlling others. It's about becoming the kind of person who naturally draws in meaningful connections. 11. Letting go of the need for validation. One of the greatest challenges in controlling attraction is letting go of the need for validation. We often seek the approval of others, using their interest or affection as a measure of our own worth. But for the Stoic, self-worth comes from within, not from external sources. Marcus Aurelius taught, "Don't waste the rest of your life worrying about other people unless it affects the common good." This advice is crucial when it comes to attraction. Too often we become fixated on what others think of us, whether they find us attractive, whether they admire us, whether they validate our feelings. But this focus on external validation is a trap that leads to insecurity and anxiety. The Stoic approach is to turn inward and focus on living according to your own principles. When you live with integrity, you don't need validation from others to feel good about yourself. You know that your worth comes from your character, not from someone else's opinion. Letting go of the need for validation is a liberating experience. It frees you from the constant pressure to impress others or win their approval. Instead, you can focus on being the best version of yourself, living in alignment with your values. When you no longer rely on external validation, you become more attractive in a deeper sense. People are drawn to those who are confident in themselves and who don't need constant affirmation. 12. The art of meaningful connection. At the heart of attraction lies the desire for connection. As social beings, we are wired to seek relationships, whether romantic, platonic, or professional. But the Stoic approach to connection goes beyond superficial interactions. It seeks to cultivate relationships that are rooted in virtue, mutual respect, and shared growth. Seneca reminds us, associate with people who are likely to improve you. The Stoic knows that the quality of our relationships shapes the quality of our lives. Meaningful connections are those that challenge us to grow, that inspire us to become better, and that align with our highest values. When we approach attraction from a Stoic perspective, we seek out connections that go beyond mere physical or emotional allure. We look for relationships where both individuals are committed to growth, wisdom, and virtue. This kind of connection is rare, but it is also incredibly rewarding. To cultivate meaningful connections, focus on being the kind of person who adds value to others' lives. Be a source of wisdom, kindness, and integrity. When you live according to Stoic principles, you naturally attract others who value the same things. Together, you can build relationships that are not only fulfilling, but also help you on your journey of self-improvement. Conclusion: mastering attraction. Through Stoic philosophy, attraction, when understood and controlled through the lens of Stoicism, becomes a force for personal growth rather than a source of turmoil. By practicing mindfulness, detachment, and reason, you gain mastery over your impulses and learn to approach relationships with wisdom and integrity. The Stoic approach to attraction is not about manipulating others or winning their approval. It is about cultivating inner strength, living according to your values, and building meaningful connections that uplift both yourself and others. As you continue to walk the Stoic path, remember that true attraction comes from within. It is not the fleeting allure of external beauty, but the enduring strength of a virtuous soul that makes you truly magnetic. So, next time you feel the pull of attraction, pause. Reflect on whether it aligns with your values. Practice self-mastery, and remember that you have the power to control your desires rather than letting them control you. Thank you for joining us on this journey into Stoic philosophy and the nature of attraction. If you found value in this discussion, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more insights on living a life of wisdom and virtue. We look forward to hearing your thoughts and continuing this exploration together.